Centrelink yesterday, the lines right around the country were heartbreaking. I think this shook people out of complacency, and it hit home, to be quite frank. I just want to clear up a few things from Stuart Robert's office this morning as to what people should do. Now, the applications, his office says, can be done entirely without going to Centrelink. It includes getting a CRN number. Identity can be confirmed without people needing to go into a branch itself, and people need to start applications via the MyGov website, and MyGov's capacity has expanded overnight even further. So there was 55,000 capacity put in the system yesterday. That was a tenfold increase in what it normally is. There's another 20,000 capacity. So overall it's about 70,000. That means 70,000 people technically, or, you know, this is what it's designed to do, can go online to start their applications without the website crashing. But still, patience is being urged. A bit more clarity this morning, at least, Andrew.
Yeah, that's good news, and let's hope it doesn't crash again, Laura. I think those queues, even if they're unnecessary, even if people could do it online, as terrible as it is for those people, are a good jolt for the government. I think that they have jolted a few politicians around the place, and I hope that the federal government takes note of that and introduces more measures to support business to stop them being forced to put people out of work, because I continue to talk to business people who have laid people off and are going to lay more off. And it is a week-by-week proposition. Now, the Prime Minister talks about his economic and health measures being scalable. What's happening at the moment, Laura, I can tell you, is the approaches of employers is equally scalable, and it's not scalable up, it's scalable down. Now, it's okay and it's a good thing that the government has doubled the New Start payment for people in this position. It's an excellent initiative. Unfortunately, it doesn't kick in for a month. And we've seen other countries do things like wages guarantee. It's been put to me, Treasury is advising here not to do that it's unaffordable, that you can't monitor it, there's no integrity to it. But I think something more needs to happen, and I think Parliament will be back before August on this, even though there's a $40 billion reserve put into these bills last night, to do something on this, because it simply has to happen. It is easier to keep people in jobs while they go into hibernation or attempt to, than have them put on the unemployment scrap heap and try to get them back. By then it will be too late. That is my view. Now, I'm not suggesting we go the whole hog on the British system, but I'm saying that as good as this government's stimulus or survival package, whatever you want to call it, is, and as substantial as it is my view that it is not enough to save at least some jobs. Small businesses aren't going to take loans if they don't have any income, Laura.
No, that's right. When they can't pay their rent, they don't have any income whatsoever. It makes it very difficult to pay staff, even with this wage subsidy. Now, the blame game, Andrew, you'll agree with me, helps no one, particularly those people lining up around Centrelink this morning or refreshing the MyGov page, trying to get in and trying to establish their CRN number in order to get these payments. But yesterday was an example of what not to do in a crisis. Josh Frydenberg and Scott Morrison have levelled with the Australian people in recent days, been honest with them in what is to come the days ahead and what the government is doing. There was a tone-deaf reaction from Stuart Robert yesterday. He stuffed up in saying there was a cyber attack. In many ways, who cares about whether it was a cyber attack or not? Just fix it. This morning he's done some interviews, one with Alan Jones on 2GB. This was his apology.
We normally get about 6,000 concurrent users. We've prepared over the weekend for 55,000, so a 1,000% increase. I didn't think I'd have to prepare for 100,000 concurrent users. Again, my bad not realising that the sheer scale of the decision on Sunday night by the national leaders that literally saw hundreds and hundreds of thousands, maybe 1 million people unemployed overnight.
My bad was his reaction, Andrew?
He should give a press conference apologising. Stuart Robert's largely in the role he is because he's a close ally of Scott Morrison. I hope the PM talks to him today and encourages him to wholeheartedly apologise, because he's done a disservice, as you're pointing out, to the entire cabinet, in the sense that we are relying on reliable information, and Scott Morrison is doing a good job on that from all of them. And it may just be bad advice or a mistake, but you should apologise for it. Now, I hadn't heard that grab before. I know we asked about to get it before we went on air, because we know he said my bad. He just said 1 million unemployed overnight. Isn't that extraordinary? Because in the recession in the 1990s, the big figure was 1 million unemployed, and that happened over several months. Now, obviously, we've got a bigger population, a bigger workforce, but if he's speculating 1 million unemployed overnight, well, governments just need to do more.
That's extraordinary.